Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, I'm your host, Mrs. M. And if you haven't, make sure you click the link below. That way you can subscribe to my channel and not miss out on anything you need to scale your business to six figures and beyond. Pow! So I'm so excited because in this video, it reminds me of funding that I needed so desperately. I know when I first got started, one of the biggest things that concerned me, literally paralyzed me, was how to get the money. That's a big concern for a lot of our small businesses. So in this video, I'm going to give you 5 things that I know, a couple of them I use myself, and that I know some of my students and other clients have used. So hopefully it'll be a great fit for you. You ready? Let's go. So number 1, I know that funding can be just like terrifying. I never went beyond 2 weeks with paying any employees, and I never went beyond 30 days for paying my subcontractors. When I first got started, the very thing I did was I got subcontractors because I knew I could not afford payroll. And I didn't want to do the payroll under the table where they were really employees, but I was treating them like they weren't. You can really get in a lot of trouble when you have subcontractors that you've got classified like as subs, but then you're treating them like an employee. And I'll do a whole video on how you know the difference. And most of the time we know the difference. And basically, one simple rule. If you're providing the equipment, the uniforms, all the detailed instructions, they're normally employees. If they're bringing their own equipment, license, insurance, all of that, maybe you give them uniforms because you want them to be part of your team, but you give them the scope of work and they go ahead and do everything, then they are a small business just like you. So a lot of times we want to take an employee and treat them like a sub. That way we can pay them under the table, tell them what time they have to show up, tell them what time they have to leave, and still put them under the guise of one of our employees, but actually they're not. And if you forever or whenever or hopefully never get caught up in that system where you're paying someone under the table and they're not classified as an employee, they end up getting hurt. And there's so many states that now you have to report it within 20 days of a new hire. 20 days. I know in the state of Florida, for sure, you have to report it. I know definitely when I was doing all the employees, I started doing more subs than I did employees. But I know most states, I think in Maryland, Virginia, you have to do a new hire report. The days may have changed, but I know that that's something you usually have to do. That way they know you have a new employee. So how do you get around the funding? Let's look at that for a minute. How do you get around the funding? How do you get funding? So I'm going to give you about 5 ways on how to do that. So the first thing is invoicing. Invoicing was one of my best friends when it came to getting money. I would take my invoice that was due in later and get paid for now. Now, depending on, you go to Fundbox, other few places, but depending on what you're looking for, it's a great fit because they're going to take your invoice. Now, you've got to fill out a lot of paperwork. You have to that's what they're using as collateral, your accounts receivable. A lot of you probably have heard about invoice factoring. Great way. I love it. I'm going to kind of reference a couple of things. And one of the things I love about invoice factoring is that you can use it for contracts already like now. And you can go with something like Alt Live, I think it's Altline. And like I said, TCI, Business, Capital. And then I used a couple of places like Fundbox and things like that. So I love it, love it, love it. It's great. Invoice factoring is great. You can use up to 80. They'll allow you 80 to 90% of what's due in on the invoice, and they will give you that money. Like I said, you're basically signing that contract over to them. So you want to make sure you have all the I's dotted and T's crossed. But definitely invoice factoring. The other thing I love is a line of credit, a small business line of credit. You can get that at a bank. Now, I've done videos on getting credit, obtaining business credit. You already want to have your relationship ready with your bank. Don't wait until you need it. Go into that bank. Don't go into the teller line. Go into the back part when you meet and greet. Get to know your banking manager. Build that relationship now. I always talk about relationships. The R for relationship in my OBART system not only applies to relationships with government buyers, it applies to building relationship with vendors and your all kinds of people. Banking managers is a big one. Your suppliers that are going to give you your supplies. Maybe you don't have to pay for those supplies right away because you built that relationship. So really, really important when it comes to that. So make sure that you go into your bank and get to know them because you might do a line of credit, a small business line of credit, and usually that's going to come from your local bank. My favorite local credit union, I belong to, Navy Federal, because I'm a veteran. So Navy Federal has been really great to me. There's quite a few. And then you can do definitely online vendors when it looks like, once again, Fundbox is a great one. So that's 2 ways right there. The third way I love is going to be an SBA microloan. So you can go to SBA and do a microloan. What I love about it is it's for contract startups. It's for equipment. It's for hiring. It's for onboarding. I love it. And the other thing is, it's so great because you can take up to 50K. And it's really, really good because if you're small, you don't have a lot of collateral. A lot of people, one of our favorite things is they want you to have all this. Well, if I had all that, I really wouldn't need credit, would I? I really wouldn't need a loan. That's the key. A lot of times you already have to be what they want you to be before they give it to you. So you want to look at these options. So an SBA, and where you can go to SBA, I think it's SBA .gov/microloan. So SBA.gov/microloan is where you can go. Number 4, one of my favorites, state-specific small business programs. I know Florida has some, California, Texas. So where do you want to go? You want to go to your economic development and your agency procurement. That's where you want to go. Why are these really good? Because they really, really work with small businesses. They care that you're in their state. People love when you're doing business in their state. You hear all the time that Virginia was voted the top blah, blah, blah state, best 5 states. People love that because people move to a state based on how friendly they do business. That's a big draw. Schools, how many parks they have, things, low crime. All of those are a draw, including business. And my last and favorite one, so I use invoice factoring myself, and I use the second one, was Friends. Do not downplay Friends. I have heard from people like Warren Buffett and people like that saying that they got their start from galvanizing friends to help them out. Sometimes you may be able to say, I'm going to give you a percentage of, give you a certain amount. If you loan it to me as a friend, I'll give you extra money back. Work it out among yourself. But sometimes people have lines of credit with their credit cards. That may be something you can do. But friends are a great source. Maybe they can loan you something for up to 60 days. You pay them back with interest. Work it out. Make it about business, not about friendships. Borrowing money can really mess up a friendship. But I know it is a great way is to be able to have friends in positions that want to see you grow, want to invest in your business, do not want to have a percentage of your business. They just may want a percentage of that you're going to pay them a certain amount, like a certain percentage, 5% or whatever percent on the money that they loan you. So do not allow funding to get in the way of getting those 6-figure business contracts or government contracts, whether it be state or federal. Get that money. Do not let funding be a part that hinders you and takes you back. So hopefully this helps. Make sure you click the description if you want to come to my weekly GovCon Lunch and Learn. I talk about funding. Sometimes I have funding experts on there. Talk about government, state, some state programs, federal loans, things you can do to get federal government contracts now in 2025. Usually I have you on there on and off in about 40 minutes. So have your lunch and learn. Learn while you're eating your lunch. That's right. So look forward to talking to you soon. Take care until next time. Bye-bye.